Good morning, everybody. I'm Tori Robinson, and I'm here with Kendall Corley, the owner and director of Visiting Angels. Visiting Angels provides compassionate home care for seniors, of which most of our population is made up of, the baby boomer generation. So tell me how you're keeping up with demand, Kendall.
Well, the truth is we're keeping up with it, but we're not keeping up with it in the same breath, right? So there has been a shortage of caregivers, not just with Visiting Angels, but across just the home care and assisted living and senior care industry all in all. Like, there is a shortage of caregivers. So it has been a challenge. It has been an absolute challenge trying to keep up with the demand, but doing everything we can to meet people where they are and where they're at and giving really the best care that we can, and trying to find, like I said, exactly where they're at with time and all that fun stuff that comes with that.
So I didn't ask you the last time we spoke, but tell me a little bit about what an average schedule looks like for the caregiver and the person that's being cared for.
Yeah, so let's do that. So average schedule, let's do an ideal schedule. Would you be open to that? Like an ideal schedule for a client and caregiver is probably like 8 to 5, right? Most people are trying to get to work. But I think what people are mainly asking for these days when it comes to senior care, with a lot of families, is said, hey, can I have somebody come help me in the morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and then somebody in the afternoon from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. We're getting a lot of requests for split visits, and man, that can just be so difficult. One of the challenges of senior care is finding that consistent schedule with the client and then consistent schedule for caregiver. It goes hand in hand, and it never quite seems to line up at the right time. So,
that's nice.
But yeah, that's what everybody keeps telling me. But trying to make it work for everybody, and so saying, hey, it might take us a week, but we're gonna do our absolute best for you. And we create some flexibility for our clients in that way, not make them sign up for like an annual contract or anything like that. It's a 24 hours notice agreement with Visiting Angels, and so there's some flexibility.
Okay, and tell me a little bit about the ideal caregiver.
Ideal caregiver, that's a great question. And I don't want, if any of my caregivers are watching this, don't be offended, but our ideal caregiver, it really is somewhere between age 40 and 50. We see a lot of great caregivers more mature in that area. They can meet families and clients where they're at. I think they have a little more familiarity also with stories and sharing. And absolutely, CNAs are super important. Medical assistants, really anybody that has compassion can be a caregiver, right? But it takes a lot. It takes a lot of compassion. You have to know how to care for people and how to meet them where they are, which is not easy for everybody, especially when it comes to cognitive decline, when it comes to end-of-life care. There's all of these challenges, and like, how do I even begin to navigate this? Well, the great thing is we can teach you, but we do like people to have experience. That's why I said that life experience, somewhere between 40 and 50, still very able-bodied, in a right mind. That's kind of important. But meeting people where they are, I think that'd be our ideal caregiver, though, somewhere around there.
And obviously, he speaks from experience. You've owned this company for how long?
8 years.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, I know as a daughter of an older parent that it's difficult to kind of determine when somebody needs this help. So how can you help the rest of us understand, maybe some things that we need to know more about before we make this decision, or how do we know when it's the right decision?
Yeah, that is a great question. And I think a lot of people wait too long before they start talking about care, because people have to be vulnerable. You're gonna let somebody come in and do the work for you, care for your loved one, and even getting them to agree to it can be really difficult. Like, I don't need that yet, So I think it's always, if you have an aging loved one living with you, to start thinking about it even now. It's like, hey, what's the next step? There really is a trajectory that starts with, making sure you're staying on top of your health, going for walks, engaging your mind daily, doing little exercises here and there to make sure that you're staying on top of it, not just vegging out and watching TV. But I think there's never a bad time to start talking about it. And I think the world's kind of been awoken to that now with the baby boomers, right? We're seeing all these people that need care. And so staying in front of it would be the best thing for you. So if you see any signs of cognitive decline, or just you're gonna need help at some point, getting aware, making yourself aware of it, and then educating yourself on costs and everything like that, so you can start budgeting and putting timeframes together.
Terrific. Well, there's some great information on their website at visitingangels.com. So now would be a good time, if this is a subject that's come up in your family, to do a little bit more research. And certainly if this is something that you may be interested in doing full time, it certainly would be a very rewarding position. And we'll make sure that we've got Kendall's phone number and information on the screen for you here in just a minute. Thank you so much for taking the time this morning.
Thank you.
God bless you for what you do. We appreciate you.
It's been an honor. So.
Visiting Angels, America's choice in home care.